Legendary quarterback Tom Brady confirmed that after his playing career is over, he will turn his attention to TV, becoming an NFL lead analyst for Fox. Unquestionably, he has every quality, name, looks, resume, to break salary records and even overshadow the games he's covering. But everybody has to start somewhere, and if history is a guide, Brady will go through some growing pains the way every analyst does. People think it's just conversation, said Hall of Fame quarterback Steve Young, an ESPN analyst. In the end, like acting, the talent is to make it seem natural. There's an art to it. Surely, there's no mystery that Tom Brady has spent more than 20 years answering questions on the other side of the microphone, observing how TV people and other media members do their jobs and dispensing information, sometimes very little information, a succinct soundbite. Chances are he's not going to be overly nervous in front of the camera. Some in the business were somewhat surprised, though, by the news that he's already heading in this direction. Never in a million years did I think he'd be going this way, said former NFL quarterback Rich Gannon, who first got to know Brady when they were teammates on the AFC Pro Bowl team, then covered several of the games when Gannon was a CBS analyst and Tom Brady was playing for the New England Patriots. You get a sense with different people when you go around and visit them, Gannon said. Some guys are curious. For example, Peyton Manning was curious. He'd ask questions and stuff about the role and the job, the responsibilities, the schedule. I never got that sense when Tom was even interested in that. I never got the sense he would be interested in getting into coaching or the front office. Reporters gravitated to Steve Young when he was a player, and not just because he was the star quarterback of the San Francisco 49ers. He was a deep thinker and a great quote. But he says now that when he was speaking to the media, his target audience was really his teammates. He had to shift his thinking when he got into TV, just as Tom Brady will. And that's not always easy to do. In other words, you gotta flip the switch. Then there's a challenge of calling a boring game when that's happening on the field or just isn't entertaining enough to keep the audience interested. Every analyst braces for those. Gannon still cringes as the thought of the first game he called, Buffalo at Tampa, in 2005, when J.P. Lossman led the Bills and mustered only a field goal in a 19-3 loss. Rich Gannon remembers it as the slowest and worst game he's ever called in his career. The Monday after that game, Gannon got a call from a CBS executive who delivered an unflinching review. He asked, "How did you think the game went?" Gannon recalled, "I said it was okay. Hard game to call, blah, 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 blah." He goes, "Well, here's my thought. Either one of two things. You don't understand the mechanics and the pacing and timing of the broadcast. Either that or you don't have anything interesting to say. Talk about oof." I said, "Trust me, it was the first part. I didn't understand the timing. That's the only time he had to tell me," according to Gannon. And after that, as soon as the play-by-play guy was done, I was like, bam. And just like any quarterback, and certainly as Brady will be, Gannon was coachable. Now we'll see if Brady has what it takes not only to be the GOAT on the football field and be the GOAT inside the broadcast booth.